Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
The waves likely crashed into the side of the new Andalian fleet as it slowly crept its way to the three small islands known as the Three Sisters. They laid in the middle of the Bight, the cold sea that laid between the Vale of Arryn and Andalia. Aengar remembered the last time he sailed the frozen waters of the Bight. Almost 40 years had passed since a young landless knight fled his homelands with ambitions of adventure and conquest. Now he was the king of a vast kingdom, his time in this world almost over. What he'd give for just half of that boy's energy and fight, now that he had the power to back those ambitions. Until recently, the islands had been under the control of the Vale, until they fought for and won their independence from the Mad Falcon King. All had been collapsing as of late in the formidable kingdom to the south, however. The Falcon King had gone insane and turned into a vicious tyrant, turning many of the people against him, including his most loyal of bannermen, which suited Aengar perfectly. If they carried on growing at the rate they was, the Mad King might have started eyeing up Andalia. Instead, however, the recently conquered Old God Kingdom of the Rivers and Hills decided it had enough of its new Andal overlords. Sensing the weakness in the Vale, Lord Mud once again crowned himself King Mud, King of the Rivers and Hills and protector of the Old Gods. He promised to force the Andal invaders out of the Trident and return it back to the First Men, which rallied many of his lords to his side. It was an easy victory for him, splitting the powerful kingdom in half, much to all the other petty kings of Westeros' relief. The sisters, however, were ruled over by Andal lords. They were too small to ever stay independent for too long, and were situated in an ideal position for Andalia if they were to be added to the realm. They might put up a small fight against Aengar, yet once they realised he was nothing like the Falcon King and how prosperous Andalia was, he was sure they'd be able to sway them to his side. They'd also be much safer from being reconquered by the Vale if they were under Sevensport's protection. The new eastern trade routes that had come to Sevensport could also have stops added onto the three islands, helping them grow rich and prosperous, just like the lands of Andalia. Aengar's biggest concern of late was his son and heir, Ambrose. The boy was incredibly bright and was a formidable fighter who would surely soon gain his knighthood. He was twice the swordsman Aengar was at his age. However, the boy seemed to have little to no interest in conquest and battle. He lacked the ambition one needed to ensure Andalia would continue to prosper and grow. The company he chose to keep was also most concerning. As of late, he'd been spending a lot of time with some crippled smallfolk boy with foolish ambitions of being a great commander, and worst of all, some northern boy from beyond Andalia's borders who still worshipped their savage false gods. Aengar didn't have long left in this life. He had no doubt the stranger would soon be paying him a visit. The pain in his bowels got worse with every day, and his eyes were slowly beginning to fog over and fail him. He must work hard on Ambrose and make sure he became the man he was supposed to become.
Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the Knights of the North, where we return to the Kingdom of Andalia as King Aengar Hotspur of Andalia, who still has diarrhea. Surprise, surprise, after, what, 5 episodes? He must have had it for at least 2 decades, near enough now. We're also wounded as well, we're 59. Surely he's not going to have much longer left, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see just how long he's going to last. Obviously one of his oldest friends, the Lord of Oldcastle of House Bloom, died in the last episode, but Stefan Roseheart is still going strong, and Lord Rhaegar Rack is still going strong, even though we're all getting a little bit old now. The first generation of people in this series aren't going to be around for much longer, but we do have promising heirs, all of us, so obviously the series is going to carry on for many, many generations. Well, that's the hope anyway, as long as you guys keep watching. I want this to span and have all its own lore and history and generations of kings and good kings, bad kings, and successes and failures and all that sort of thing. So hopefully it will carry on like that. So let's introduce today's new characters. We have Eric Fenn, who is obviously of House Fenn of the Neck, who are sworn to House Reed. After all the battles that took place fighting against the Starks and all the many revolts, he's got fed up of fighting for Starks, and after seeing his Bannerman's daughter convert to the Seven and get great rewards in their own land in Moat Cailin, now known as Sevensguard, he decides to follow in Mira's footsteps, and as he's a close friend of hers, he's come and sworn fealty to King Enga to help convert the Crannog men of the Neck and bring them peacefully into the realm. He is a charismatic negotiator. He's strong, attractive, mystic, honest, just, diligent, and temperate. So that's the closest I could get to the house Fen Sigil, whereas on the actual game it's a blue colour, but if when you go on the Wiki it's actually purple instead, so I don't know which one is right, the Crusader Kings one or the Wiki one. I'm going to go for the Wiki one, which was purple. And then we have another custom character which I'm really excited about adding into this series. I absolutely love this character, really interesting and different from what we would normally get, and his name is Edward Hooton. He's 16 and he is one of Ambrose, our son's best friends. He is a Northman, but he is Faith of the Seven. He was a commoner, a small folk, and he was born crippled, which in most cases in this sort of era and this sort of world, that's the last thing you want to be if you're not highborn. But he has a very, very good mind, and he has used that to his advantage and overcame his disability massively. So he is authoritative, he is brave, he's honourable, content, diligent, patient, he's stubborn. I think he's going to have to be stubborn in this sort of world to prove people wrong with his disabilities. He is a scholar, he's a game master, he's a strategist, he's quick, frail, shrewd, and then he is one hell of a battle commander. He is an organizer, a battlefield terrain master, a siege leader, and he leads from the rear as well as being a brilliant commander. So he's no good at actually fighting on the battlefield himself, but he is a great commander to have leading from the rear, leading your troops, coming up with strategies and plans. For this character, basically think Ivar the Boneless from Vikings. He's that sort of guy, but without all the cruelty and anger that obviously Ivar has. He's more like, say, Ivar the Boneless meets Tyrion. He's got the mind of, say, someone like Tyrion, and then all the battle commanding and the obviously disability of Ivar the Boneless. But I'm super excited about this character and what he's going to bring to the table. As I say, very different. We probably won't see much of him for now, for the next episode or two, but once Ambrose comes into his crown, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Edward Hooton, which could upset other lords, which could be interesting. But yep, close friend of of Ambrose, and he's going to be very important as we get into the series. And a funny thing, when I first loaded up ready for this week's episode, for some reason Edward had a portrait of a dragon. I have no idea what happened, so I had to go back into the files and tweak that, and now he's okay. So I've got no idea why he was a dragon to start with. But yes, here we go, back in Andalia. In the last episode, as you will remember, we conquered the Three Sisters, which are now all under our domain. We allowed all 4 lords to keep their titles and names. We didn't revoke any of them, as they're all actually legit houses like House Sunderland, so we didn't really want to have to remove any of them. As I said, we're only going to replace those houses with the weird names that aren't actually genuine houses. We're currently trying to get a claim on Silverreed, so we'll move that way once we get a chance. We'll unpause and just let things tick along. Apparently we've got an idle court member, so we'll have a look. It's our spy master still. We don't really know what to do with our spy master when we're not plotting. Enga's not really the plotting type. I suppose we could just sabotage the economy in Winterfell. To the unbending blade master Enga, yeah, I just sorted out marriages for those two two new custom characters off screen, just so that is sorted. King Ambrose of the Rivers and the Hills has declared Second Riverland the Dustlands de jure war over Dustlands. Okay, well they've only just won their independence, so that's quite interesting. Nobody else needs to be doing anything. I think all our minor titles are still filled, other than Court Jester, obviously. Prince Ambrose is now a commander. Well, speaking of Prince Ambrose, we will have a look at him, our future king. I'm going to leave him unmarried until we get to play as him, and then we'll sort out our own marriage. Very good traits, as we've seen in the last episode. A skilled commander, a siege leader, skilled fighter, attractive, a knight, kind, brave, honourable, chaste, and paranoid. But, yeah, we'll let things just tick along ever so slowly. whilst we wait for something to happen, we're trying to get a claim, we'll let things happen. Your Grace, we have word that Edgerton has negotiations have been taking place between the Rivers and the Hills and Edgerton. It has been agreed that Edgerton is to be annexed with Lord Criston of Rollingford swearing fealty to King Ambrose Mudd. Okay, interesting. That's over down in the Rosby area of lands, I think, isn't it? Edgerton. I can't get it out. Sorry about the echo in the last episode as well, guys. I really don't know what happened and why that happened, because I never get that echo, so why my mic decided to play up, but it was too late by the time I realised. But at least it's gone today, he says. I hope it's gone today. Please don't let the echo be there today. Okay, Emmon Mornhus has called in a favour on Danny 7-star. Ah yes, our nephew. Young Jorin just walked up to me today, striking up a conversation. We end up having a long talk about a great many things. How nice. Who are you again? Jorin at Red Guard. Okay, interesting. He's Edric Firehand's squire, so I don't really know why he's coming up to us. But why not? Okay, he's got some decent traits for a 6-year-old. Not too bad. I spoke at length with Jorin about a great many things. We laughed a lot. It seems I have made a new friend. Okay, we've become close friends of a 6-year-old, which is a bit weird when we're 6-ster. It's a bit worrying. Have we got anything? We can seek treatment for illness, but I don't even know if there's any point, because whenever we do it, it never works. So what is the point? Let's establish a household guard. We've not actually done that yet, so yes, we will establish a household guard. A group of men loyal to House 7-star have been brought together to establish your household guard. They will protect you and your family and can be put to work in Sevensport. Great. How can I rely on my generals when their understanding of warfare is so lacking compared to my own? I could teach Edric a thing or two, teach cavalry tactics, teach her inspire men, teach how to crush heretic and infidel holy warrior. Edric Firehand, yeah, I think he'd probably make a good holy warrior, so let's teach him how to be a holy warrior, considering he is zealous. Edric gratefully accepted my lessons on the art of war, with more generals like me who can stand against us. What else can we do with some of these things? We could hold a feast, which would be interesting. Recently I've noticed the pitiable state of my father, King... How is he still alive? King of Rosbeth, 76. Wow, how the hell is he still alive? We'll slow things down a second. King Bruce of the Dustlands accepted King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills peace offer. Okay, so the Rivers and Hills are probably bigger than the Vale now. Wow, we've still got Rosby. King of Rosby still going somehow. Pink Maiden's still free. That's about it. Is there anything else that we can do? Could search for a smith and try and build something, which would be pretty cool. The old wound is finally healed, leaving a pretty grotesque scar behind. We've gained the scar trait. We could we can call a Grand Invasion Council. That could be interesting. Your Grace, I write to express my consternation to the fact Lord Roland Borrell enjoys command of your armies when someone of higher status would clearly be more appropriate. No, he's doing a fine job, thank you. At the age of 76, your father Lennox died from a bad case of the flu. I can't believe he actually lasted that long. He did incredibly well to live that long, 76. It's not very often characters live that long in this world. Yeah, let's sort out. Let's command our... Oh, we can't command our household guard yet. Order... Okay. We could construct a flagship, which would be pretty cool. There's a few things that we should do probably before Ambrose inherits, so... yeah, let's construct our own flagship. Why not? We'll construct a flagship. You have ordered the construction of a new flagship for the White Knife Fleet. Ambrose 7-star is asking for your requirements so he can direct the shipbuilders of Sevensport. I want an enormous flagship befitting the 7-star fleet. A good ship capable of leading the fleet. Nothing larger or more extravagant than a regular ship. No, we'll go all out for an enormous flagship. Why not? We make a hell of a lot of money now. We can afford to spend some of it before Engar dies. He's done well to get the realm this far. Why shouldn't he enjoy a little bit of it before he passes away? We don't want to convert, not with Engar. We may convert with another character. What else can we do? We could search for a smith. Let's try and make something. Why not? What type of smith do you wish to send for? A weaponsmith, armor, find goldsmith to create jewels befitting of my... we could make a nice new crown. Let's go for that. We could make ourselves a nice crown rather than the one we actually have. And let's call... Let's call a Grand Invasion Council. Why not? Let's try and get one more war whilst we've got the chance to do so with Engar. You have decreed a Grand Council to be held to discuss your planned invasion. All the important nobles of Andalia have been issued a summons compelling them to travel to Sevensport. When they have all arrived, a great feast shall be had before we move on to more serious business. It shall be a grand affair. Okay, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. Hopefully it's something decent, but who do we go for? We've still got a truce with King Theon for another 4 years. He's still alive somehow. No idea how. Still got 2 sons, so hopefully they'll carry on the Stark name. I don't really know where else we could invade. We could invade the Mountain in Vale and take some of this land here, but do we really want to do that before we have the rest of the north? Who knows where we could invade? We'll look into it. The Dreadfort lands would be quite good if we could swoop in and take all of those in one go and get the Boltons under our control. That would be pretty interesting. Right, let's forward things along. Right, my friend, I wish to give you the honour of sending my child, Elena, to you in Sevensport. Making her your ward, I can think of none better to teach her and nurture her into a good woman. Let's have a look. Elena Boar. Okay. Wow, she's pretty good. She'd be better off going elsewhere, but I don't really want to offend you, so we'll take her on for now. We haven't really got... Have we got another ward? Ah, yes, John Rosehart. How's he turning out? Not too badly, actually. The best part of preparing for a feast, deciding what to... We'll spend lavishly on food. Why not? Make everybody happy. Hopefully they're more likely to follow our lead then. I think we will invade the north again, and we'll take either the Barrowlands or the Bolton lands. I do quite want these Bolton lands to the north, because as we found out in the last episode, there is a nice Pentos trade route there, and that's going to bring in more money. King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills has declared Riverland. Okay, so he's finally going after Pink Maiden. Obviously, everywhere's converted but Moat Cailling. I'm going to leave Moat Cailling for now. King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills revoked the lordship of Rayanet from Sir Hubbard Thorne. Okay, that was a bit harsh, wasn't it? You've taken a decent old family that have been there for years. We could hold a tourney. One last tourney before Engor finally passes away. We could hold a summer fair for the peasants. All preparations for the council are finally complete, and the great nobles have started to arrive in Sevensport. They have all been given bread and shelter, as is their guest right, and now the feast may begin. The feasting will doubtless warm them to me. Hopefully. Hopefully it does, Engor. Even though they should all love you pretty much anyway. My liege, my work in Silverreed seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening, and forging documents, I have managed to fabricate a claim on the lordship of Silverreed, presently held by Lord Harrion of Silverreed. Yeah, we'll use it. We've got our claim on Silverreed. At least we can expand down there once we get a chance. King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills has created the title High Lordship of the Blackwater Rush. Good for him. As the feast begins, Lady Dalla Torrent presented a petition before the court. She says that crime and banditry in Little Sister is an increasing threat and that the local sheriffs cannot contain the problem. She petitions that you send men and coin to eradicate the menace plaguing the area. Fine, I will send Lord Stephen to deal with this problem. Off you go, Lord Stephen Rosehart. I'm sure you'll sort the problem out. Sir Medgar Rosa has used his attendance at the feast in Sevensport to present a petition for justice before the court. He claims that Lord Stephen Rosehart sullied his honour by having illicit relationships with his wife behind his back and demands... Right, okay, so you're saying that your father slept with your wife. Damn it. Stephen! You dirty old bastard. Aren't you? Oh, you're blind. Wow, Stephen Rosehart's now blind from age. He's scarred as well. I can't... A formidable fighter still. I can't believe... How can he be a formidable fighter when he's blind? Well, it's like Simeon... Is it Simeon Star Eyes or whatever his name is? I'll order Lord Stephen to pay you. I'm going to upset... Lord Stephen must be arrested and made to answer for his crimes. No, we're not arresting him. Lord Stephen is clearly not guilty. Oh, he's a blind old man, really? I'll get him to pay ya. The scale of banditry and crime in Little Sister was too much for Lord Stephen to handle. Despite being granted many men and much gold, he could not capture the most prominent and cunning of the bandits and rogues. In one-armed confrontation, Lord Stephen and his men came off much worse. Severely injured Stephen. Oh, shit. He could die now from that. Some of my guests did not seem satisfied with the food, but I would never have thought one of them would have complained out loud. Lord Colmore said a lot of nasty stuff about the food, and I couldn't help but feel irritated. Well, that's not very nice, is it, Lord Colmore? We raised you as well, you ungrateful bastard. Fair enough, you're meant to be our friend. Summer is nearly at an end, and so autumn and the harvest is upon us. The feasting shall celebrate this time with food from throughout Andalia, including boar, goose in berries, salmon, and lobster brought to Sevensport. As part of this, you must decide how much of the harvest is to be set aside for winter. A large portion, the usual. We need the harvest now. No, a large portion will be set aside. The feasting has begun, and the endless courses you ordered are impressing the guests. The pinnacle of these is an enormous pie, cemented with smaller pies forming a crown. The crust of the large pies are silvered all around and gilt at the top. Each pie contains a whole roe deer, a gosling, 3 capons, 6 chickens, 10 pigeons, 1 young rabbit, and no doubt to serve as seasoning or stuffing. A minced loin of veal, 2 pounds of fat, and 26 hard-boiled eggs covered with saffron and flavoured with cloves. Flipping hell, that's something Lord Manderley had eat. I hope there's no phrase in there. I started talking to one of my guests at the feast and found them most interesting. Hours flew by, wine bottles were emptied, other guests excused themselves and went to bed, but we kept talking into the wee hours. Who is this? Oh, Lawrence Flake, awesome, so we've become close friends of Lawrence Flake, that's pretty cool. He's not had a son yet, which is a shame, but hopefully he'll get to it soon. Escalating giantism. Oh, that's not good. The feasting is over, and now the council can begin in earnest. Everyone has assembled in the hall, with the more notable attendees closest to yourself. Your proposed decree legalising your planned invasion is read out loud by Jonquil and met by surprise from many. Now we can debate. It seems Prince Ambrose misjudged the mood of the council entirely, for when he rose to speak against the invasion proposal, that's good. That goes with what I have planned for Ambrose, so that's perfect. Most on the council were immediately hostile. Their stuttered and stammered arguments were met with gales of laughter and shouts of anger in equal measure. He quickly realised he wasn't convincing anyone and quickly retook his seat in embarrassment. Okay. A high-ranking noble, Lord Wilbert, of course, had to speak, but it may have been better if he hadn't. Their rambling speech in favour of King Engor's planned invasion failed to rouse any cheering or much agreement. Some of his points were even openly ridiculed. By the end, none of the council seemed persuaded any more in favour. Great. Lord Pate seemed particularly excited about a campaign, but not for entirely honourable reasons. He praised King Engor for potentially granting everyone the opportunity to go on campaign, where he claims everyone will bond together in the comradeship. He also made a quip about the women to be found and bedded, and the bastards that will be spawned because of the war. Yeah, well, Engor's not going to be happy about that at all, is he? As a vassal of note, when Jonquil came to speak, the council listened intently. Their arguments in favour of King Engor's planned invasion seemed to resonate with many, which, with some of the council giving audible shouts of agreement. Still, many sat in silence, with division amongst the council still evident. Okay. As a high-ranking noble, Lord Roger, of course, had to speak, but it may have been better if he hadn't. Well, I don't expect that from Rogar. Their rambling speech in favour of King Engor's planned invasion failed to rouse any cheering or much agreement. Some of his points were even openly ridiculed. By the end, none of the council seemed persuaded anyone in his favour. Well, at least he agreed with me. When Lord Stefan came to speak, his arguments in favour of King Engor's proposed invasion were most convincing, it seems. His speech roused many cheers of support and shouts of assent. He used his words well, and they carried great authority. Many on the council seemed to be persuaded in favour of the motion. Well done, Stefan. I can always count on Lord Stefan Rosehart, my good old friend. What a great warrior. During the last few days, I have overheard the same conversation again and again. Apparently, a most renowned goldsmith is travelling through Andalia, and my courtiers are prattling excitedly about his work. Perhaps I should invite this man and employ his services. Nothing displays authority like fine jewellery. I have no money to... Yep, let's make something. The goldsmith, Ederian, courteously accepted my invitation and arrived at court a mere week later. He has presented me with some sketches of his previous work and several letters of recommendation. I am assured of his skill, although I ask myself just how much money I can spare for a set of crown jewels. I will order something impressive but sensible, +4 vassal opinion. Surely good craftsmanship is the most important aspect. I've changed my mind. Yeah, we'll go with the top one. Hopefully we'll have the end of the council soon. There have been hours of debate already among your subjects, much of it heated, but now you raise your hand to silence them all. The time has come to give the final words of the council and issue your final decision. I'd better speak well. You proceed to give an utterly convincing and inspirational speech. Your subjects are captivated as you promise them glory and riches if they agree to follow you. Many break out in applause and cheering throughout, and by the end they are cheering your name loudly and heartily. Yes, Engel, they will surely follow me now. Gain 100 prestige. Perfect. Does that mean we can now invade someone? The Grand Council is finally over, with every important noble in the realm having had their say. Your decree allowing you to launch an invasion was always going to pass, seeing as you have the final say. We do now know who we can rely upon to support it, though. They seem to support my initiative. They appear to reserve judgment. They appear to oppose the plan. So Sunderland was against it. Albert of Warriors Watch reserved judgment, but everybody else was in favour. Perfect. So, can we now go for our invasion then? Edorian is an authority on metallurgy and has some theories that can improve the quality of the metal in the items you commissioned. He just requires funds to obtain the necessary materials and time to work with the smith. Yes, proceed. I want a very nice crown ready for Ambrose. Right, let's declare war then. We could claim Silverreed, but we're going to go invasion. No, we don't want invasion of the north. I don't want to invade the whole north. I want invasion of the Dreadfort. So did that whole thing actually mean pretty much nothing to us then? We've not actually gained anything from doing that. I was hoping it would give us a chance to invade certain areas. Does that mean we could invade somewhere else? So could we invade the Vale? Yeah, we could actually invade the mountain in Vale, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? Invasion of Mountain Vale, invasion of Southstone. Okay. Your Grace, I'm pleased to report that the majority of the population in Sevensguard have been converted to the faith of the Seven Faith, your humble servant. I thought they already had anyway. Oh no, some... Yeah, okay, yeah. We could declare war on House Mud, but he's got a lot of men, I think. 23,000. We have 14. The recent conversion of Sevensguard to Faith of the Seven has caused... I thought that happened a long time ago, so I don't really understand. What could we actually do on him? Invasion of the river than the hills. We can't really do anything. We could just try and claim Silverreed, I suppose. Speaking of that, we need to send our diplomat. Where is she? Let's send you to fabricate a claim on Overton, because I want that trade port. Your Grace, loyal servants such as I surely deserve some recognition. Who you said, Davos, in exchange for a favour. I surely deserve some recognition and rewards from time to time. It is widely known that you hold huge lands and many titles, and are as generous as you are wise. Perhaps you would consider granting this humble servant the castle of Elkston. Where's the castle of Elkston? In Sevensgate. Yeah, I need to give that to you anyway, but yeah, I'll do it in exchange for a favour. Make you think that I'm doing you a favour, eh? Let's just go for Silverreed then. We'll declare war. My beloved son Lionel is concerned that he is still not married. I'll find him someone nice. And here I was hoping he'd take the vows. I will find him someone nice. Who shall we marry our second child to? Surely one of our loyal bannermen have a daughter of age with him. He's 16. Let's have a look. I don't think there's anyone in Colmore's bunches. She's already married to Lord Kristen of Ghoultown. Stefan, I don't think, had a daughter. Oh, he did have a daughter. Maya Roseheart. Well, she's married, and I don't really like the look of her either. Black Sheep Hills. He's obviously much younger still. Roos. Your daughters would be his nieces, so no, you're not going to do. Rogar Rack's daughter's not old enough yet. She's only 11, and I'm thinking of marrying her to... Oh, he's had a son. Kellis Rack. Awesome. Born club-footed, though, but as long as he survives, that's the main thing. I'm not really sure who we should marry you to. I don't really want to marry you to the mad, bloody Aaron Kings. Anyone to do with him. They do have a daughter, though. Bera. Oh, she's already married. Let's have a look, Prince Lionel. There's bound to be somebody we can marry you to. We want, obviously, someone of our religion, obviously. So let's have a look. Gender, female, married, no. Any religion, no. my religion. This is Engor arranging this marriage. Search all. Let's look for one with a decent rank. Lady of Breakzone. Very old though. 19. Oh, she's a handmaiden. No, there's not really anyone with a decent rank. What about one with some decent stats then? All too old for you. How old are you? You're 16. Wow, you're desperate to get married, young, aren't you? Stewardship, not really. Learning. Oh, there's a 17-year-old here. She's... wow. Yeah, she's very good. She will do. Let's arrange a marriage between her and Lionel. We'll have a proper look at her in a second. Send. There we go. That should be a very good marriage for you. Hopefully, anyway. Ah, Seven's Guard, not Seven's Port. Okay, so Seven's Guard's been converted by them without me even sending anybody there. Speaking of Rogar Rack, we have some stuff to look into with Lord Rogar, the priest hater, and why he is a priest hater.
Lord Rogar Rack was finally home in Castle Hornwood, away from court in Sevensport and crown business, home to his wife and daughters, his own concerns. Most of all, he was away from the High Septon. As dusk fell and the torches of the night sentries were lit, Rogar met with his lords and ladies. All the lords of the Warrior's Way, great and small, attended the feast, and old business was discussed, over duck, pheasant and wild boar. One mayor was wondering where he would get more horses for all the timber he was required to deliver to Sevensport. Another minor lord was thanking Rogar for making his small folk protected and prosperous. At some point, Rogar was about to nod off when Gretel brought him around with a whisper. "It's time for us to retire to the balcony, my lord." Gretel had made quite the life for herself in Hornwood. It had not gone unnoticed by her when Septon Quincy worked as Rogar's master of coin, that his own pockets seemed very heavy. Through her handmaidens she learned that not only had he enriched himself under her watch, but also while serving as High Septon of Andalia, she was simply left with no choice but to inform the king. Rogar and his lady wife arrived on a torchlit balcony overlooking the vast forest surrounding them, and are greeted by their companions for this discussion. "My lord," Lord Morgath greets Rogar. "He was a good friend. Come and share some wine with vassals that truly love our liege." That brought a chuckle and a smile to his face. The thought of vassals actually loving his lord. Although he felt a certain friendship with King Engar, he couldn't say he loved the man. He most certainly chafed at the way he allowed this priest to rob him blind. Rogar and Gretel went over to the gathering. Albert Morgoth, Ruth Lancer and Dany's Sevenstar, all as loyal as any lord could ask for. They all raised a goblet. Young Brandon handed drinks to Lord Rogar and Lady Gretel. Lord Morgoth raised his goblet and spoke. "To you, my lord, and Lady Rack, the truest protectors of the Warrior's Way." He paused. "For they stand for us even in the face of those corrupt beggars hiding in the septs." Lord Lancer and Sevenstar looked nervously at one another. Morgoth continued, "I toast you for that above all, and wish you a long life and continued success." The ever-quiet Lord Lancer remembered the mad priest that he came into the Broken Branch with, and assisted as they burnt down the Godswood and built septs in their place. He remembered the shocked look on the faces of the people, and how the madman laughed out loud at their horror. Had he not already taken vows, he may very well have thrown that particular septon into that particular fire. He knew how bad mad septons or scepters could be. He understood his lord's hatred of these men. He had seen very little in them that was told to him by what was in the seven-pointed star. Danes finally broke the silence. "I understand your hatred, my lord. I've not seen many godly men among those that claim to be septons. I've seen madmen, I've seen thieves galore, but precious few righteous, decent men." Danish shifted his stance and looked straight at Rogar. "I do admire you, my lord. At least you stood up to them, and made them stop. No one else ever does. How are we any better than the savages we were told the old god worshippers were when we act like this? I was born here. I am an Andal. I am also a Northman, and something needs to be done about their abuses." Young Brandon, serving and watching from a safe distance with his friends Ambrose and Edward, decides to approach Lord Rogar. Brandon poured some fine arbor wine for his lord and lady. "To your health, my lord," he said shyly. Lord Rogar replied, "Nothing else? It seems like you want to say more." The young man froze for a moment and began to stutter. Well, my lord, it's about the small folk." Lady Gretel gently asked, "Go on." "You see, I have noticed that while the new gods are the main faith, they are still remnants of the old gods. Many people have saved pieces of the felled werewoods and prayed to them in secret, Brandon admitted. I have no concern with that. What's between God and man is between them. If they want to pray that way, so be it, Lord Rogar said flatly. Brandon grew quiet. The young man's shy nature was of slight annoyance to him, but his lady wife had an intrigued look on her face. Continue, boy. I am most interested. Brandon blushed in embarrassment, but continued. Well, my lady, it seems so strange that these differences in beliefs should be so at odds. Wouldn't it be better if we were united in a new way? Rogar laughed while drinking. That would be a sight, but not bloody likely in my lifetime, and paused. I can't say what's in the heart of men, my boy, or what the gods even want with me. I became a knight because I was big, good with a sword, and didn't want to be poor. Lady Rack sat up slightly with a gleam in her eyes. Her lord husband knew that look all too well. It was the look of a scheme blossoming. Leavers, boy, you certainly are cleverer than you appear. Brandon blushed and scurried off, nearly dropping the jug of arbor onto his tunic. Lord Rack turned to his wife with a look of confusion. What are you up to now, woman? The niece of Enga turned to her husband with a smile. Our king, my uncle, will not be long for this world. There will be a void where his influence is, and I intend for us to fill that void. Once my dear uncle is taken by the stranger, we will plant the seeds of our success. We shall start with the faith. I feel it is time to have a word with my cousin.
Okay, so that was a little bit more of the backstory of what is going on with Lord Rogar the Priest Hater and why he is now a Priest Hater. But let's have a look at his children. Sir Estian Rack is a very, very impressive steward. I can't wait well, I can wait because I don't want Rogar to die, but then obviously when we're at Ambrose, we know who our Master of Coin is going to be. Definitely this guy here. And we did grow, well, no, he grew up under Enga, didn't he? While we grew up with Lord Rack. His daughter, she's turning out pretty well. His other son died, and he's got a second daughter who is strong and ugly, but she may turn out well because of that strong trait. And then Kellis Rack, his youngest son, who is yet to develop anything, so we won't sort out an education for him yet. Albert Morgoth hasn't had any more than the two daughters yet. Has Roose Lancer had a child yet? No, he has not. Right, let's... to the heroic King Enga, may you live in harmony and contentment. I accept the suggestion that Prince Lionel and Margella get married. She's very impressive trait-wise, so hopefully they'll gain some decent traits through that. But let's declare war on the north. He only has 3,000 men. Work has become boring and the hours of the day drag on. We lose the trait diligent. Well, that's not good. We are getting quite old though, aren't we, to be fair. Let's declare war on Theon the Hungry Wolf for the claim on Silverreed. Send. Let's call in our men. This will probably be Engor's last war. Oh wow, I forgot about our Sisterton men. We'll leave them behind. I don't think we're going to need them, to be honest. Let's march everybody on to Silverreed and try and claim it as quickly as possible. The north should be pretty easy to claim. They've not got many men, have they, at all anymore, so it should be an easy victory. We'll forward it along while we get down there. Your Grace, I've collected a ample tax revenue, 30 gold, perfect. What's going on with that flagship anyway? Good news, my king. Edorian has said excitedly, the goldsmith has informed me that previous metals and gemstones have been located in a nearby province. If we send an expedition, it could increase the quality of the crown jewels we are currently crafting. Send them immediately. Wow, this is costing us a lot of money. It best be bloody worth it. There we go, let's get Silverreed under siege quickly. Get all the men there. Your Grace, we've had word from Clitrin that negotiations have been taking place. The rivers and the hills and Chiltern. It has been agreed that Chiltern is to be annexed with Lord Janos Flint with a double T, swearing fealty to King Ambrose Mudd. Okay, interesting. He's more power hungry than flipping the Aaron King, isn't he? Edorian has kept me up to date on the progress of the crown jewellery. I knew they were nearing completion, but when the heavy box was brought to me today, I was still momentarily breathless with excitement. Edorian is truly a master. Add crown of pearls, ruby scepter, golden sword. Oh, nice. Some new artifacts added, so we'll let everyone gather up and let's have a look at what our new artifacts are. We've still got Mother's Mercy, of course, our Valyrian steel sword, but now we have Jonquil is no longer Master of Luck. No! Jonquil! Oh, twin sister has passed on. Oh no, Lady Jonquil. She was a great, great servant, our sister was. She really was. She died a natural death, but obviously we're now going to need a new Master of Laws. Who have we got diplomacy-wise? We'll go with our son, why not, and get him to fabricate a claim on Overton. But that is devastating that our dear sister has unfortunately passed away. Look at the amount of men we've got here though, nearly 14,000, and we did disband a lot of men. We'll get Allender, Edric, Firehand, and let's let Ambrose get a little bit of battle experience. He could do with it, to be fair. Oh yes, we were looking, weren't we, at our new items. We've obviously got the Crown of Pearls, monthly prestige plus 0.15, and vassal opinion 2, and that is equipped. And then we have the Ruby Scepter. The Golden Scepter, adorned with opals, almandines, and pearls, is crowned by an impressive, big, and lustrous ruby. Every inch of this golden-hooped golden crown is covered in pearls of all sizes, complemented by sapphires, as well as cameos depicting religious characters engraved in mother of pearl. Oh, wicked. And then the golden sword. This gilded blade and hilt, whilst useless in battle, will impress their holders, every subject. The pommel is decorated with a single magnificent emerald. Wow, that is all pretty impressive, to be fair, isn't it? So, very nice. Money well spent just for the future of House 7 Star. Really show off all that wealth that we have obviously got from our massive trade port in Seven's Port. Your Grace, it has come to my attention that nobody has been designated as your regent for Andalia. Who are you? Harris Highborn. Well, I like your sigil, whoever you are. Who even are you? Our courtier. No, you'll not be our regent. Considering because our sister was our regent, wasn't she? I forgot about that. Right, no. Our new designated regent is obviously going to be, where are you, Ambrose? Are you not on here, Ambrose? Yes, Ambrose, Prince of Andalia, our son. Captain of the Household Guard. Ooh. Let's go with Lawrence Flake. And we need a keeper of the Swans. We'll go with Cornwall Bloom. Is everything else still filled? Yes, it is. And play. Let's get this war underway. Let's capture Silver Reed quickly. It's a pretty easy capture, that should be, but dear Engar, I'm a bit concerned about this war you currently struggle with, and therefore I decided I would send you a small gift. Nothing much, just so you can hire some more soldiers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. We won't attempt the assault. We'll let it grind down a little bit, rather than risk losing too many men. There we go, a victory, but they have sieged us up north. We'll leave Greywater Watch. We'll go and take out the Stark army. And then we'll march on to Winterfell and get that under siege. We've got enough men to hopefully do some damage there. King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills has declared Riverland Rosby de jure war over Rosby on Queen Shara. Well, she's nothing to do with us really anymore, actually. We've got 2 little brothers from her, but nothing really more than that. Okay, so what's going on here? I thought they'd sieged the Hornwood. Your Grace, I write to express my consternation at the fact that Edric Firehand enjoys command of your armies. No, Wilbert. You say this all the time. Where are they going to? They're going to Spearmouth, are they? Let's try and see if we can catch up. King Engar, if they listen to it... Oh, I don't care. Dear King Engar, I'm a bit concerned about this war you're currently struggling with, and therefore I decided I would send you a small gift. 10 gold from Lord Stefan again. I wish they'd send you a bit more than 10 gold, so it was at least useful. I'm not being ungrateful, but you can't really do a lot with 10 gold, can you? We've been getting it a lot lately off air. They must be going to the Hornwood. We'll follow them. We'll track them down. Where are they marching off? Do you know what? We're just going to march to Winterfell and leave you to it for now. Queen Shara of Rosby accepted King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills a peace offer. I'm getting a little bit worried about House Mud now, with them being first men and old god worshippers. Oh wow, has the crossing gone independent under... Okay. No, they've not, unless they're just not getting involved in that war then. I thought they'd gone independent then. I thought that's interesting, because we could invade the crossing after we've got Silverreed. Let's just get Winterfell under siege. How well is it going to be defended for now? pretty well defended. Ambrose 7-star has informed you that the new flagship for the White Knife fleet is complete. The Drummond has over 700 oars and the huge sail is blazing with the armours of House 7-star. Many hundreds of people gather to watch it be launched into the sea of Sevensport, and all say it is one of the largest ships they have ever seen. A magnificent ship, I must say so. Gain 150 prestige and 30 piety. Now it has been launched and blessed, you must now select a name for your new flagship. I will select my own name, King Engar in honour of myself, Lennox after my father. I name it Sevensport. We'll name it Engar Hotspur for now, but we may change that if you guys come up with a better name. Great, the supply line is not very good in Winterfell, which means we are going to lose quite a few men, but we're going to have to take that sacrifice. Every time my ward John meets a stranger, he looks like he might faint. The lad is just a bit shy. We'll let him remain shy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a shy person. Nothing wrong with shyness. I've been reading the 7-Pointed Star, and it claims that death is not something a true believer should be afraid of. Indeed, I have the favour of the gods. Gain 50 health and gain 100 prestige. What is there in the afterlife, though? Lose piety, gain stress. Well, we're not scared. We're a zealot, aren't we? Why would we be scared of death? Lady Dalla of Little Sister has provided me with proof that I always miss it, has been viciously slandering me. How should I use this information? Expose and denounce her publicly, giving me a reason to arrest her. It's Roos's wife. Oh, she's pregnant. I'll keep this information to myself for now. We're currently busy sieging Winterfell so that we can end this war and once again expand our lands greatly like we have been. To all my subjects, the inheritance of Sarhoy. I don't care about Sarhoy. It's a world away. We're not bothered about Sarhoy in the slightest. My courtier, Prince Euchis Cabell, has expressed a desire to get married. Marry as you please. And it looks like he's just died anyway, so it doesn't matter. King Ambrose of the Rivers and Hills has declared Riverland Cracklaw Point vassalization ward on Lord Geoffrey the Gallant. Wow, they are really going to town on all the provinces in the south. I'm a little bit worried. Hopefully they'll collapse in on themselves though, just like the Vale did. I don't really care what's happening in the Iron Islands for now. It's too far away for us to be bothered. If it was the Vale or the North or the Riverlands, I'd be interested. Your Grace, I'm pleased to report the successful siege of Winterfell. King Theon Stark could not be found, however. There is no one of value here. Dear Engar, I am a bit concerned. Wilbit sent us 10 gold as well. Let's assault Winterfell once more. Lord Medgar of the White Star. Whoa, hang on. I've received word that your spy master has been trying to sabotage the economy. Yeah, but I'm there. So how? Lucian Bloom died a stillborn. Oh no, who died? Lord Stefan. No! Lord Medgar of the White Star has inherited Lordship of White Star from Lordship. Oh no, Stefan is now dead. All our oldest friends are dead. It's only me. It's only Engar and Rogar left standing. What did he die of? He died a natural death at the age of 59. Damn, our mates are dropping like flies. We need a new Master at Arm now. All of the great people are literally dropping like flies. It's nearly the end of an era, isn't it? It's definitely looking that way anyway. Your daily routine involves repeatedly swinging your blade at a training dummy. However, you can only learn so much from fighting an imminent enemy, and the practice gets deadly dull after a while. I could use someone to train with. Become close friends with Edric. Yeah, why not? Let's assault Winterfell once more. There we go. And we'll attempt an assault on the last defensive position. Oh wow, and there's another one. We'll assault it again. We need a new Master at Arms. We'll sort that out after the war. Money continues to flow through the trade post in Sevensport, but your relationship with the Rourke family from Lys that owns it has soured. To teach them a lesson without going to war, you could arrange for a mob to burn it down. Yes, assemble the mob. No, things would quickly escalate. No, I'm not burning down the trade port. Right, let's go and attack that Stark force, and hopefully that will give us a decent amount of war score. When I introduced my friend to Emitha, I've had high hopes. I hoped they would become close friends so we could spend time together, the three of us. My friend had a great time together. Awesome, so two of our friends are going to become friends. Let's quickly attack this Stark army. We'll give them gold for now to keep them happy. Hopefully this war will be over pretty soon, so that we can end this week's episode. Oh, Nasta. as Osmira, Roose Lancer's wife, who was pregnant, has been broken on the wheel by the orders of King Theon Stark. Ouch. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. For God's sake, I hate it when you can't track down an army and they just keep moving. I'm guessing they're going to go to Winterfell. Surely that's where they're heading to lift the siege. The cook complained to me about my ward John's temper tantrums. Apparently he punched her son in the face again. The kid shows spirit, he gets wrath, beat him into being calm, encourage him to be more patient. It's only 50% chance of that though. We'll let him gain wrath. Wrath's an interesting trait. We'll have a look how he's getting on soon when we get a chance. All our old courtiers are dying now. Right, let's attack this force in Winterfell. Lord Joffrey the Gallant accepted King Ambrose's peace offer. They really are going crazy down there in the Riverlands. A dull pain begins to throb behind your eyes. Headache. Maybe we're about to die. Pera Hornsby is confident your symptoms is not due to a serious illness and that it will pass quite soon. Nevertheless, you will receive some mild treatment. Thank you very much, Pera. For your headache, Pera handed you a cup of what looked like hot water with red flakes in it and told you to drink it slowly. I'm glad I hired Pera. Oh my god, where's that Stark army going now? It's just narrowly avoiding us every time. We're going to have to siege some lands instead, aren't we? Let's just siege some lands. Let's go into the Hornwood. Hopefully we can trap it this time. Under my guidance, my young ward Elena is slowly mastering the art of swordsmanship. A poor fighter. Are they going to march to the Dreadfort this time? Yes. Black Sheep Hills, we will catch you. Hornwood, looks like we may have caught them finally. Brynden Rosby, our half-brother, call for a physician. I don't really know why that concerns us or how far away he is. Let's march on to the Black Sheep Hills. I'm getting fed up of not bumping into this northern army now. Yes, finally! We've finally caught up with them. Bradamore of the Riverman Liberation Revolt has declared liberation of Rosby on King Ambrose. Okay, interesting. Finally going to crush this Stark force. It's really annoying. There we go, that gets us 58% war score. Now let's march up and siege all these lands around Winterfell quickly. I'll forward it along so we can siege them pretty quickly and get them out of the way. Nothing's really going to happen, is it, here? So that army's no trouble. We'll go and crush the Stark force again if it gets a little bit close to us, but we just want to end this war now. Owen shows every sign of being infatuated with Eleanor. He follows her everywhere, and Eleanor is seemingly equally smitten. Eleanor Salzard, the daughter of... Okay, interesting. Oh, how sweet. Maybe it will pass. Separate them. No, how sweet. Maybe we should arrange a marriage between you, considering you really like each other. You and our son Owen, who is a skilled fighter. Wow, he's got some decent traits. We'll have to look into him soon. We'll marry you to... Oh, hang on a minute. Bloody hell. Where is Salzard? Salazar. There she is. Eleanor Salzard. Arrange a marriage between her and Owen. Send. There we go. Considering you like each other, why not? We'll marry you to her. It's not going to hurt, is it? King Osric the Mad has inherited lordship of Dartmoor from Lady Minella of Dartmoor. Let's crush that Stark host again, hopefully. Oh my god, they're so annoying. I watched my ward Elena at play with another child yesterday and noticed that she didn't want to share her toys. This is how children learn thrift, so she'll get greedy. It's interesting to give some of them some interesting traits. Let's march on to Winterfell. That's surely where that Stark host is going to go. Now it's staying in High Point, so we'll attack them in High Point. Winterfell. Stay where we are. They're coming to attack. Oh my god, this is so frustrating. Do you know what? I'm going to trap you. Split in half. 4,000 there. 4,000 there. Now we've got you. There's no escaping the pincer. Good old classic pincer movement, and we've trapped you in the middle. Great victory, 66%, right. We'll merge the armies back together and we'll siege High Point and see how much war score that gives us. Your age is finally starting to get to you and your eyes are no longer what they used to be. As the days go by, your vision fades more and more until you can see nothing. Blind from old age. Poor old Enger's blind. No, Enger. We may have to finish this war. At the beginning of the next episode, my young ward has finished his education in the intrigue of the court. It turned out less well than expected. That's because he's good at martial instead. Wow, he isn't actually that impressive, is he, to be fair? Never mind, he is like the fourth in line for House Rotar, even less than that now, actually. But we'll end this episode here, and we'll finish this war in the beginning of the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below and join the Discord server as well. And if I don't see you before then, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that you have a fantastic time with all your families and get everything that you wanted from good old Santa Claus. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.